Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. What days are you going on? I couldn't manage Saturday, annoyingly, so I don't think I'll see you. No, I'm only going on the Saturday, I'm afraid, Swennels. Today, we're talking about UK Games Expo. Woo! Yeah! Woo! UK Games Expo! Wow! I'm going out into the public. Again. Twice in like 3 weeks. What is going on? I'm going into the public again, twice more, for sure. I'm going to the Spearhead event on the 14th of June at Warhammer World. And going to the Golden Ticket event in July for Age of Sigmar. Doing lots of cool stuff. Anyway, good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, or good night, wherever you are in the world. I hope you are well. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're enjoying your weeks so far. Today we are talking UK Games Expo, as mentioned, because I'm going to UK Games Expo for the very first time, and I have absolutely no idea what to expect. Scott says, I'll be there as a volunteer. Maybe see you there on the Saturday. Maybe you will. I'll be travelling incognito. That is to say, not very incognito at all. Good evening. Sat painting some Space Wolf Eradicators. That's exciting through the Realm Gate. It's huge. That's what I like to hear. I like to hear that it's huge. I'm going to do a little bit more building of Canis Rex. But we're going to be doing that in the background. Because I still haven't finished the flipping thing. I'm not going, but keep your eyes peeled for Stand 2714, a Terraria board game I kickstarted. You can be my spy. Oh. Ooh. I didn't realise subterfuge was involved. That's fun. First time, it's great. Likely to be very busy on Saturday. I am aware of that. I booked the Saturday because I thought, well, I'll go on the Saturday because the Saturday is when things will be happening and there'll be lots of people there. Whereas Sunday is unlikely to have very much going on. And I was like, what am I talking about? I don't know anything. You know? That was the vibe I was going for. But, yeah. So, like, you know, come on, guys. Talk to me. Tell me about UK Games Expo. I'm going to properly raid Colourforge. Oh. Am I just going to walk away from it having spent an inordinate amount of cash? Is that the vibe? Do I walk around saying, do you know who I am? And they'll all go, no, who are you? And I'll be like, yeah, that's what I thought. It's about games, is it? Oh, no. I don't like games. Games suck. On that note, take cash for the bring and buy sale. Cash? Cash? Do I have to take cash? I don't want to take cash. I'll end up with spare cash. That sounds horrifying. This will be my third or fourth UK Games Expo. My advice, check out the event page first and check out who is going. I'll tell you how to find them in each hall. Ooh. Will any of the cast of Baldur's Gate 3 be there? Because they appear to be at every single convention. Oh my god. The bring and buy is cash only. What's the sort of thing that gets sold at the bring and buy? Are we talking old models built by someone else? Because whilst I might be a trash builder, I don't trust models built by other people. So people don't steal stuff. That makes sense. Good evening, Warhipster. Love your streams. Thank you very much, AVB. I love you too. We're doing daily affirmations as well today, guys. So if anybody needs a daily affirmation today, by all means, just be like, dude, can I have a compliment? And I'll be like, yeah, sure. Many second-hand board games. Ugh. See, every second-hand board game I've ever bought is definitely missing a piece. Same for like a puzzle, for example. Why are you selling it? No reason. Is there a piece missing? Fairly sure they have to specify that. Well, you'd think, right? But I've been sold a bridge before, you know. I'm not casting aspersions about everybody's character, but I very much am, you know. I'm a deeply mistrustful person, what can I say? There's an app? Should I be downloading an app? Is there an app for UKGE, or is it just for the bring and buy? I must confess, it's not very eco-friendly of me, but second-hand stuff doesn't usually appeal. Who hurt you, Josh? Well, we could go into that on a stream, but I feel like there are some things I should keep private. And it's too difficult to tell some of the stories without directly naming some people. And today the times for talks show you what's in the bring and buy and book your for the expo. It can tell you the times for talks, show you what's in the bring and buy, and book your slots to play test games. I don't know as if I'm really interested in playing any test games. I know that sounds silly, but like, if there's a game I'm super interested in, then I'll have a look at it as I'm there. But like, I'm not as you guys know, I'm not a sort of tabletop aficionado. I don't know all of the things. I'm not aware of what everyone's doing or what everyone's up to. I generally walk into something like a new game based on literally just like face value. And I think like some people will say, well, no, hold on, that's not a good way of doing things. But for me, it is the best way of doing things, because I feel like there's a degree of, well, if something turns you on at face value, right, then surely that sounds pretty cool. And then the second part of that journey, obviously, as a content creator, is talking about said board game or tabletop game and whether or not it's a decent experience actually learning and putting it together and playing it. Which is kind of where I'm at, really, these days. Scott Robert Turner has become a member. Welcome to Battle Hipster. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. I'm gonna add you to the crew. There you go. Oh, and we'll put you into that as well. My list of must visit are Corvus Belli, Infinity, Micro Art Studios, Infinity Terrain, and GCT Studios, Bushido. Hello, James. How are you? I feel like I haven't spoken to you in a little while. I think it's because I missed you on Monday. Yeah, like I'm more than happy to just kind of let it all wash over me, as it were. And then any vendor I talk to, I'll say to them, are all the instructions online? And they'll say, yeah, they are. And I'm like, cool, I'm out, see ya. Is there any literature in this box that will help me get into this game? No, there's none. Cool, see ya. Had a really interesting debate about that the other day, actually. With a vendor. Not going to UKGE. Well, I assume they're not. But I had a very interesting chat about that the other day. I said, I'm going to stop you there before you ask me any more questions about whether or not you can send me your game. Is there any literature in the box at all that helps somebody who's just bought your box and is taking it home? And they're like, no, there isn't. There's a QR code. I was like, right. So for me, that's always a point of criticism. I don't like that. So you don't want to send me your box and me say, there's nothing in this box that helps you get started. What you get is you get a nameless box of plastic. The rules are online. The build instructions are online. The next steps were online. All of that. It was all online. It was like, it doesn't help you. Doesn't help you engage with the system at all. Because you're buying a physical product. I think the app's pretty good. Okay, I'm going to download this app. You know that the board game industry is massive compared to miniatures. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I am aware. Interesting. Where do I download this app from? What is the app called? A lot of games are designed to be played physically. I am aware. Get it from their site. Okay. No. Generally, I know that, Captain Maris. The point of the story I was telling is I received an email from a company asking me if I would review one of their games. And I asked, is there anything in the box that tells you how to play it or how to build it? And they said no. There's no paper in there whatsoever. What there is a QR code on the back that takes you to a website that you sign up for so that you can download stuff. And I was like, I'm going to stop you there. No thanks. Because I don't want to read like the instructions for how to play a game in a 55-page PDF either. See what I mean? I want to be able to flip through pages. The point is, you were being a Muppet. How was I being a Muppet? Be nice. Oh, there you go. Install. Oh. Is this an app or is this a... Okay, yeah, it's just a web thing. I thought it was just gonna. I thought you were saying download the app. It's great, and it's like actually you're just saving a web page to your phone, Brad. I was like, guys, don't do that to me, please. Anyway, so what I know, I saw that the lovely Laura listed out all the things she was looking forward to and like things to check out and where they were, which was very nice of her. I had a read. It didn't mean anything to me, but I was like, cool. That seems like that'll be useful in context of when I'm actually there. But who should I... Who do you guys want me to talk to? Who do you guys want me to go and see? Because this is a really good opportunity for me to see stuff as a physical product. What would you recommend I go and look at? Because, you know, I got into Warhammer because I walked into a Warhammer shop. So this is a good opportunity to get into some other things. What are you looking for? Anything at all, mate. Put it this way. I am perfectly content to paint Warhammer for the rest of my life. And judging by the amount that I have, that would probably work. I'm not looking to fill a gap in my life. I'm looking to augment my experience. You're going to find a lot of anything. Sounds like a challenge to find nothing. How was UK Games Expo, Josh? It's fine. The lobby was really nice. Lovely person checked my lanyard. And I went about the rest of my day. Hello, Peter. You started a new job? There is the quiet rooms. You could just sit in one of those. Oh, that sounds lovely. Is it a bit silly to have paid for the privilege and the train to sit in a quiet room? Probably is, right? I do get overstimulated very easily. Oh, you are moving house, James. I think last we spoke, you were in the plans of doing that. That's cool. That's exciting. Are you excited? Once all that nonsense is done. The nonsense of moving, that is. Do you know the board game series Nemesis? One of the best board games ever made. I am not aware of it. What's it about? And I don't mean that in an asinine way. What is it about? Because you say Nemesis to me, and it conjures up Star Trek Nemesis to me, or Resident Evil Nemesis. I liked Trench Offensive last year. World War One skirmish game. Interesting. I have 3 weeks in, absolutely knackered but loving it. So good to be back in a stable workplace, almost falling asleep on the sofa each evening, but wouldn't change it. Thanks for asking. Oh, you're very welcome. I was going to text you the other day and say if you had any updates for me on my toddler. But then I thought, nah, I'm pretty certain he's just started his new job. He probably doesn't want to be reminded of that. I'll leave him to it. Yeah, excited to get out of Tornado Country, but overwhelmed too because I have way too much stuff. I don't envy that. I'm gonna have to do that exact same thing, James. Very, very soon, I'm sure. Arnold, next year. Next year. Good evening, Laura. How are you? How excited are you for UK Games Expo? I'm very excited. I'm positively brimming with it. I feel like a lot of people have a lot of plans, and I'm just like, I'm just loosey-goosey, baby, let's go. How on earth? Oh, like that. I think you should go to the cosplay area and get all dolled up. I'm going in cosplay. I'm going to shave my beard and wear a false beard and go as a cosplay of myself. It's a weird thing. Don't worry, you'll get it. It's all scrubbed and mostly cleaned up. I'm mid-straightening some bigs and cleaning slips. We're down your way in mid-August for annual holidays, and that's the goal. If suits, yeah, no, sounds good. Hopefully we haven't moved somewhere else. Well, you know, we haven't moved to, like, Nottingham or something. Weekends is when I am looking at these things. So tired with all the new stuff being thrown at me during the week. Good. Sounds like a refreshing tiredness. A good tiredness. A good ache. Trying to swiftly finish a mini for Tails. Ooh. Me too. I don't want to cop out and say I did the Space Wolves, because I didn't do those for Tails. I did those for all of you. And growth. I'm going to be interested to see if Blood Claws or Grey Hunters do as well as the Wolf Priest and the Wolfguard Battle Leader have done. They've been good videos so far. So thank you to anybody who's watched them. I think Josh dressed as a Sister of Battle in a pink tutu. Look, if you can make it happen, well, I'll make it happen for you, but you've got to help me make it happen. Literally will do anything so people like me. And I don't want anyone to clip that because that's how you get into trouble. Because I won't literally do anything. I finished my final mini for Tails last night. Got to do photography now. Ooh. Tails going gangbusters at the moment. You guys are killing it. I think I spoke about this briefly with Flying Muttley when I saw him at Warhammer World last week. And I'm trying to think of a way to make Tales basically a permanent fixture in the calendar. So it happens forever rather than it being seasonal. It just becomes like, you know, almost more of a soap. It's just always and forever. Maybe there's some milestones here and there. But, yeah, just trying to think of a way to do it so that we can run it permanently. I don't have time to sew a tutu. Our train is lunchtime tomorrow. Do you know, I used to own one. I used to own a really crap one because I was given it at Reading Festival in 2008. I then held on to it for a lot longer than I should have. But I don't have it anymore. You think I should defo check out Moonstone? What is Moonstone? Nemesis is a space horror board game with horror action vibes. You wake up in a spaceship just out of cryo and forgot the layout of the ship, so you need to explore it. Collect horrors. The aliens have different stages in their lives and evolve the longer the game lasts. You can throw grenades, empty your gun, and even kill your teammates. Excellent. That's what we like to hear. I am going to attempt to come home with some board games, because Alice and I like to play some board games. We also like to take them to my family, who we've played so many different like card games, you know, things like Exploding Kittens and whatnot. That it's always interesting to see who's good at what. And my youngest brother, if any of you ever meet him, you wouldn't expect him to be good at some of them. Just because of how he is. But he's absolutely incredible at some of them, which is really surprising. Everyone's always really surprised by it. A couple of weeks ago, you commented on the negative of priming with colour-forged sprays. Could you repeat what you said? Well, there isn't a negative to priming with colour-forged sprays. What there is a possibility that it's not. If you're hoping to use contrast paints over the top, it might not necessarily be appropriate for it, because there is. It's the same thing with what Games Workshop used to do. I think they are all primers now, but Games Workshop used to sell spray paints and they used to sell primers. Chaos Black and Corax White were their primers, and the rest of them were just colour sprays. So they weren't actually primers. And because they're not actually primers, it means they don't have the kind of the grippiness that a primer needs to have. And colour forged sprays can be like that. And it's not a criticism at all. It just means that you need to buff them a little bit once you've primed it in order for contrast paints to stick to it. Because if you're using base and layer paints, if it all beads up and runs off because it hasn't got quite enough surface tension to work with, it's fine because it's a base and layer paint. But that's not negative per se. That's just something to watch out for. That's why I you know, the Colour Forge equivalent of Greyseer and Wraithbone are both very, very good at matching the colour, but they're not necessarily very good at matching the texture. Moonstone is a skirmish game with a combat system that doesn't require dice and is very whimsical. Well, see, now I'm into that. That sounds cool. I'm much more into co-op board games. Love those. Oh, I love a co-op board game, Email Angmar. One of my favourites is that I play with Alice and very occasionally played with my brother and my dad, is Dead of Winter. I really enjoyed Dead of Winter. Because there can be a cooperative, there can be a competitive element to it if somebody's obviously a traitor, but not necessarily. There's not always necessarily going to be a traitor. If anyone fancies some cute chibis, I got mine from Gelatinous Cute last year, and they're there again. Nice. Zombicide. This is a nice gun. I like this gun. Quick question. You often fix contrast paints with a layer plus lots of water. What do you recommend to relayer Black Templar? I don't know. Probably... either Mechanicus Standard Grey or Skaven Blight Dinge. But would be a recommendation I would maybe make for that. One really great thing about Wraithbone and Gracier spray is that while it doesn't come off by accident, it's really easy to get rid of it when you do want it off your model. That is true. Slightly more textured spray. So slightly powdery finish, which helps the contrast paints grip and adhere to the model. Whereas one that isn't as grippy will have a mildly satin finish, which creates a slightly glossy surface for contrast paints to bead up on. And if it's too glossy, it would be like trying to apply water to oil. It would just bead up and run right off. I kind of like engine building games. That sounds fun. I built a gun. Nearly. Is White Scar grippy? It is. It is. It is also a contrast primer. Tattoo Zoologist. Hi everyone. Can't make UK Games Expo now, but always next year. Yeah, there's always next year. I mean, it happens every year. I assume. It's not like Glastonbury. C5 and C6. Is that you? Yes. Yes, it is. Be nice to finally get this built. I dunked my mispainted Terminator Librarian in 96% ethanol from the grocery store in a glass jar that used to hold olives. Paint come off in 2 days, just a bit of rubbing with a toothbrush. That's great. I'm going through the map pack list, highlighting all the stuff I want to see, being more thorough than I was at Comic Con last year or last October. Do you know, the last actual convention I went to, I was 12 and I went to a Star Trek convention. So it's been a long, long time. I mean, you could say Warhammer Fest, but that was a That was a room trying to be a convention. And failing badly at it. On account of there being one vendor, Games Workshop. C5, C6. Any plans to do a contrast plus for Knives of the Crone? Is that the new Warhammer Underworlds set? As of right now, no. I don't have any plans to do it because I don't have it. But never say never, as always. My group lately is all into Arkham Horror, the card game. No cool minis there, but the game is great. Sounds cool. I'm hoping to get to see demo Ahoy and Forest Shuffle. Also want to check out the co-op versions of the Tiny Epic games. Nice. Hello Josh and all in chat. Sorry I'm late. For some reason YouTube never notified me and I've been buried in work. I hope that everyone is having a great week. I hope everyone's having a great week too. And I hope everybody's having a good time during the stream. And you're enjoying the stream. And if you are, I would be eternally grateful to you if you could leave a like on the stream. You know, I recognise that some of you might not like the stream. Because we're currently not running a contrast paint clinic. But if you could please leave a like on the stream, it really does help support the channel. And it's completely free. That's the other thing to bear in mind. We've got a local mini-con. Mini because it's small, not because it's about minis every year. Went there a couple of summers ago. Caught a couple of Gavesa posing with a Space Marine. Any of you dance for the chat? No, come on now. I'll dance for super chats. I'm not dancing for a like. Star Wars Battle of Hoth and Small World games are on my list too. Many-wise, I want to get the Shatterpoint event, Ahsoka versus Darth Vader, and a load of minis from Black Scorpion Studios. Ooh. So you've got a pretty decent idea of what you want to do. What new Seraphon would you add to the range if you came up with something? The way I always answer this question is an absolute cop-out answer, Teal Moonstone. If I can imagine it, then it's rubbish. I don't want to be able to imagine it. I want to be delighted and surprised by something new that I never expected. If I can say, oh, do you know what? I'd love new Ripperdactyls. And they go, here's new Ripperdactyls. It's not exciting. It's just really nice to have two available to answer questions. You're very welcome. Evening, Josh. Always excited to see your content. What colours would you recommend for the 252nd Caravan Conservatory Regiment? I've ordered some Imperial Guard models to paint up in that scheme. I have no idea, Jack. I've never heard of them. That's a Google search. If you give me some time. What was it? 252nd caravan. 252nd caravan. Is this the Dawn? Is this the Dawn of War scheme? From Dawn of War, yeah. See, the problem with the Dawn of War picture references is that they are bad. How would you paint this pixelated nightmare? I don't know. Green? The best I can tell you is, like, I can't figure out if it's brown. As far as I can work out, it's probably steel. It's probably Steel Legion drab for the armor and green of some description for the trousers. I cannot figure that out at all. That has defeated me, Jack. I cannot find a picture reference that doesn't look like ass. It looks like Dark Angels Green and Black Legion or Black Templar, but someone left a comment on something there saying, "Oh, it's actually Steel Legion Drab." It looks nothing like Steel Legion Drab according to the picture. Your beard looks shorter because it is. I shaved it a few weeks ago, and then I tried to keep it neat, and no one noticed because no one looks at my face or cares. It's just like the new glasses all over again. Who will be victorious? Asks Edward705, who's been a member for 22 months. Only the faithful shall be victorious. Much is owed to whom much is given. Hope when hope is dying, etc., etc. All the good stuff. How would you do the 85th Cadian Fire Drakes? Which ones? 85th Cadians. 85th Cadian Fire Drakes. Oh no. They're all red? All red. So I would apply Blood Angels Red over it. And that's it. All red. Red trousers, red shirt, red. It's just red. Yeah, Blood Angel's red. Maybe shade it. Gracie, yeah. Yeah, probably Gracie. Speaking of your hair, Josh, I saw your video of you unboxing and sprue review of Angron, and your hair was short. Oh, yeah. Do you think Tales next month will be Space Wolves heavy? When's deadline for this month, come to think of it? It's always the last day of the month, midnight your local time. I need a cable. C16. There it is. No one looks at Josh's face, they all just want his body. Yeah, exactly. That's what happens when you don't put your face in all the videos. How would a venerable Redemptor / Ballista / Brutalis Dreadnought / Bjorn the Vel-Handed work, given that their lore has them burning up from the strain? Well, it wouldn't, would it, Winchester? Just wouldn't work. Hence why Bjorn hasn't got a new model. Not that Primaris is a thing anymore. They just seem to have, abandoned that altogether. Or at least the Primaris designation. So if there was a big version of Bjorn that came out, it's not a Redemptor Bjorn, it's just Bjorn. It's just a big Bjorn. And that's what the people wanted. Would it be a betrayal if I bought Space Wolves as I am an AOS fan? Absolutely not. It's a good box, that Space Wolves one. Have you thought of doing a Chaos Spawn video, showing up in a few lists nowadays? I haven't really, because the Chaos Spawn model is hideous. And if you do one Chaos Spawn, people will want one for every Legion. So I'd have to do 4 of them. And I don't want to buy 4 Chaos Spawn. I don't want to encourage them. Does Kratos come with the Space Wolves? Sadly not. It wouldn't be fair otherwise. It wouldn't be fair on the rest of the galaxy. Though technically you could have not technically. You could have a Kratos battle tank for your 30k Space Wolves, so technically, yes, Kratos would be present for the Space Wolves. In some way, shape or form. We're on the wrong sprue. We need this one. C94 and 93. Sounds good. Oh, I am just working on Bjorn. I should give him reading glasses and a book, because he's just there to tell stories. Exactly. Honestly, surprised that that kit remains. Honestly. It is very surprising to me that the Space Wolves retained Bjorn, Murderfang, Wolfen, and Venerable Dreadnought. It's very, very bizarre. Because, you know, if we're keeping old Dreadnoughts on the books, then maybe the Blood Angels could have kept theirs. But no, not allowed. UK Games Expo, woo! That's right, Rez. You're coming, aren't you? You and Mr. Gwatkin. You are still coming, right? You're not like, you know, jetting off to Mali or something. Sorry guys, can't come to UK Games Expo. I've just remembered. I'm supposed to be in Andalusia. Can't wait to see you naked. Oh. It's a long way for me to go naked. Do I have to be naked? That used to wind up so many people. For clarification for the chat, we would sometimes be on House Party or Discord or doing a podcast or something, and Rez would just very quietly just go, naked? Naked. And initially I think he did it because he found it funny. And then he realised I found it very funny. And kept doing it. And there are some people who got very, very annoyed at it, and that made it even funnier. Naked. Do you know what the stupidest thing is, Rez? As soon as I remembered that, I can immediately remember the way you laugh at it. And now all I'm thinking about is how you laugh at that. Naked. That's a small preview for UK Games Expo on Saturday. So talk to me about your board game. It looks really interesting naked. Thanks, Rez. Naked? Great time to join the stream. You got it, Dave. Weirdly, and this is not because I was threatening to, but just before I went live, Al told me, don't get naked on stream. I don't normally have to get told that. And there was nothing that I was threatening to do that meant it would happen. She just gave me that as advice. Wolf Priest video was great. Can't wait to paint along with it. Still undecided whether I'm going for the helmet or not, though. I personally think that the wizened bearded look is the right choice. What's left? It's literally just the Thunderclaw. Thunderstrike Gauntlet? Is that what it's called? She knows you well, I guess. No! Because I don't normally. It's never been a problem before. Which leads us on nicely, guys. Just, you know, it is the 28th of May. And now, earlier on in the month, we talked about creating a calendar of myself wearing a set of leather shorts. And I said if we made it to 1,000 members, we'd do it. And as you can see, with 3 days remaining, not even close. You clearly had a certain look in your eye. Well, clearly. Your mind games won't work on us. Hey, I was all prepped. I would have done it. It's on the screen. Should probably take it off the screen, though, to be fair. This is the last stream of May. And I can't imagine there's going to be a sudden rush on members whilst we're not streaming. I think you should go pay Duncan a visit, try out his paints. I'm sure I will. Be funny if you forgot to take it off it and end up having to leave it for another month. Would that be funny? Another month of everybody being like, "Ugh, no, God, I don't want to see him naked." I know we joke about it all the time in the chat, but actually, I am physically repelled by the idea of that. I'm not going to enable you, Josh. Gross. Unsubscribe. The only thing I don't like about the new Space Wolves, there is no beer. From a law perspective, that is totally unacceptable. That's fair. That is fair. There is a distinct lack of any drinking vessels. Hello, Mr. Quatkin. Car park fight between Josh and Duncan. I might have to put a bet on Duncan as he has more experience with those kinds of fights than Warhipster. So you think? You guys don't know everything about my life. A54 and A55, is that correct? Apparently it is. Look at me! Is that because you want me to look at you, Joe? Or is that because you're mocking me ruthlessly? Is that vicious mockery cast on a nat 20? Me and my boys gonna mess you up. Battlefront 2 teddy bears. Oh yeah. Oh, that was so funny. I was playing Battlefront 2 with Joe on Monday night. Monday night, I think it was. We were just sort of figuring it out. We were playing one round, and Joe just goes, Joe just goes, I'm going, get out of combat, Josh. Get out of combat. Then Spores goes, Josh, turn around and look at me. Look at me. Look at me. And he's an Ewok just jumping up and down. Oh, just when you're not expecting it, it's just very funny. Behold. You've been back on Battlefront 2. Yeah, we had to go on it. I think it was Monday. Thoughts, feelings, and emotions? Oh, I enjoyed it immensely. It was good fun. Might play a little bit more of it tonight after stream. Maybe. That is if Joe wants to play video games with me. He might not. Is Joe going to hold your hand at UK Games Expo? No, Joe's not coming. Well, I don't know if you've changed your mind, Joe. Have you changed your mind? Are you coming to UK Games Expo? Remember to finish your sentences, ladies and gentlemen. Oh god, how many pieces is this stupid gauntlet in? A44, A45, and A46. It is damn fun. Although the second you see a lightsaber, you might as well lay down and wait to die. Well, yeah. It's like I said to you, there were too many unsettling moments where you're standing and just sort of taking in the view, and then all of a sudden you just hear a lightsaber just ignites behind you. It's like, well, it was in that moment he knew. Heat up. I just spent £1,200 on vet bills. Ew. That sucks. Is everything alright? Joe will be there every time you see an Ewok. You can think of Joe, and he will be right there in spirit. That's how I feel about Ewoks and all things Space Marine now. We're going to have to do a couple of Space Marine 2 streams, actually. We don't have to, but there is going to be a couple of Space Marine 2 streams in the future for you lovely people. Because there's a lot of content that's been added to the game, so it'd be cool to get those new, like the Trigon and the not the stupid cup level, but the Trigon and the other thing that I can't remember the name of. The Bio Titan. The Hierophant. Because we haven't done those on the stream. But of course, Siege mode, Horde mode, is on the way now. My dog has an infection in her lady bits and had to have an emergency surgery. She's fine now, though. Okay, good. As long as she's fine. And you're fine. That sucks. Nothing quite like the unexpected emergency surgery for a beloved family pet, is there? That way? Apparently. Okay. This thing has been quite the journey to build, I tell thee. And I bet it'll only take about a day to paint. I haven't painted a night in a while. A51 and A50. Yay! Wow! We're nearly done. Wow! Speaking of video games, who is excited for Elden Ring Night Rain? That's also coming. That's coming tomorrow? No, day after next. Friday, Saturday. I'm excited. Are you excited? And if not, you will be. We playing that 100%. We're playing that, Raz. There's no crossplay though, so make sure you buy it on your PC. Which I discovered yesterday. Catamannings. I am not excited. And that's a no from me. I've never played Elden Ring, but I promised you in PT13 I'd play with you. You did. Unfortunately, as I discovered earlier and was texting with PT13 about it, there isn't crossplay. So if you buy it on the PC and Rich buys it on the PC, the three of us can play it and leave Paul out, which feels really harsh. But if you bought it on the Xbox, Joe, you could play it with Paul, and I can listen to you play it like some sort of ASMR whilst playing it myself by myself. Where the hell are these pieces? Oh, I'm so confused. 51 and 50. Right, that's you. There we go. So you buy an Xbox? Absolutely not. There will be crossplay support. There just isn't at launch. Which is just slightly odd. Because there's crossplay support for Elden Ring now, but there wasn't at launch. So it's like, well, why isn't it in from launch for Night Rain? It just I don't know why they haven't done it. They just haven't done it. So yeah, it feels a bit mean to to leave Paul out. And he raised the point of like, well, is it going to be on Game Pass? And I had a look, and like, not even original Elden Ring is on Game Pass. So I don't know if Night Rain is going to go to Game Pass. I doubt it at this point. So I have to buy it twice, is what I'm hearing. Only if you want to play it separately with me or Paul, or if you buy it once and decide who's your favourite friend. Like I said, it feels really mean to leave Paul out, given as he's really excited for it. So chat, if you'd like to buy me an Xbox... Oh, there you go. Joe, you can play Elden Ring Night Rain with Reza and Paul. I'll be the left one out. I'll be the one left out. I'll just watch people stream it. A race to see who buys it for me first. Yeah? Or if there's a really cheap one going at UK Games Expo. Right. I feel like I've done a really bad job of building this so far. And then I just realised it doesn't really matter. $48. Oh, it's like that. Nearly there. Oh, I don't even think I am actually nearly there. Because I think there's a whole other page of stuff to do on this. What's been funny is it's taken basically 3 weeks of, not 3 weeks, 3 whole streams to build this, build a Canis Rex, which is quite amusing. I should really time myself building a knight at some point. See how long it actually takes. Do. Oh, God's sake. It just never ends. Not sure I can be bothered, you know. Just give up now. Ugh. Do you know what would make me really happy is a push fit knight. That would be great. And I hope you'll all join me in a chorus of hoping that Imperial Knights get to be in the next core box for 11th edition, and therefore we will get push fit Knights. And you can put them together in about half an hour and have an army of giant stamping robots. That'd be lovely. Nah. Cool. Let's just kill that conversation dead then, shall we? Captain Alex. Chris Clark, thank you very much for becoming a member. That is very kind of you. I shall add you to the tally in but a moment. Giant Wobbits versus Diabolic Drakari Covens with monsters made for eating big Wobbits. Yeah, exactly. So you didn't think it through, did you? You didn't think it through. You didn't think out through how cool it could be. Instead, you were like, nah. Shut up, Josh, with your ideas. I want the starter box to be dark mech. Yeah, see, I'm inclined to agree with you there. I'm inclined to. I think that would be really cool. I thought you hated push fit though. No, I love push fit. I'm pretty much certain I'm the only YouTuber who does. Or are you just pulling at my legs again? Colonel has been a member for 123 months. Thank you for all that you do for this community, Josh. We love you and thank you for being an inspiration. Can't wait for the next tales. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Only 23, not 123. Did I say 123? I mean, obviously I can't read either. Your mother was a hamster, and your father also smelt of elderberries. Thank you. This is, I think, the second week with a Monty Python reference in chat, which is outstanding. Was it last week where we had Romanes Aunt Domus? People called Romanes, they go the house. It says Romans go home. No, it doesn't. What's Latin for Roman? Romanes? Rimmer, thank you very much for the £10 super chat. Warhipster wanted to. That's not your voice. That's how I imagine when people shout my name. Wanted to ask if you were to do the Tech Marine video now, would your method change? Would you still go straight in with Flesh Terrors Red, or start with Bile Red? Love the content. Do you know? I think to a degree, yes, it would stay the same, but also you could change things up. You could change things up to being Bile Red followed by maybe Agrax Earthshade, actually. Or a 1-to-1 mix of Lamian Medium and Flesh Terrors Red. But I can't remember exactly what I did for the Tech Marine video. Did I just go straight in with Flesh Terrors Red? Is that what I did? Just straight Flesh Terrors Red over the top of it? Is there a glaze of corn red in there as well? Am I misremembering? Can't really remember. Indeed, that was me. Indeed, it was. No, it doesn't. But Romans go home is an order, so you should use the... I think it was before Bile Red was the thing. Oh yeah, no, absolutely it would have done. Sigmari Aunt Domus. Domum. Right, now write it out 100 times. The Monty Python quote that lives in my head rent free is my eyes are dim, they cannot see, my legs they're old and bent. And then my legs are dim, they cannot see, my eyes are old and bent. Which gets me every time. Wow. Huh? Must be like that. Do you know the large Roman on Southgate Street in Gloucester? I do. I do. What about it? Legend has it that when it was first went up, it was graffitied within a week. With Romans go home. It would surprise me, to be honest. Romanes ain't Thomas. Hopefully the Romans got the message. No, not in Gloucester. They're everywhere. Gleveham windows, etc., etc. Blethen was born in Gloucester. So was I. I was born in Gloucester Royal. Both of my brothers were. All three of us were born in Gloucester Royal. Fun story for you all, chat. When I was a very young warthog, I had a hip infection. I was like 3 or 4. And I was treated at Gloucester Royal. I had to have surgery. I had to have my hip. I had to have my hip drained. Now the fun part of the story is that I was a small child. I was too small to have crutches. So I was given a little child Zimmer frame. So I was a 4-year-old with a hip problem and a Zimmer frame. Old before my time. Yeah, that's the same. We lived in Quedgeley, Kingsway at the time. I know Quedgeley quite well as well. My second ever date was in Quedgley. When I was... when I was a young warthog. The bright lights of Quedgley. What are you working on? I am currently building, or trying to finish build, Canis Rex. But it's really boring, so I'm not filming it. Just like all of my streams, am I right? Way! Boom! Got him! Headshot. Are there more than 2 lights in Quedgley? Yeah, they installed them in 2003. Can you believe it? They actually passed over 50 lights recently in 2023. It's quite the milestone. Do you have all the models from all the tutorials you've done, or do you sell them? I have most of the models from all of the tutorials I've done. Some have been commissions. Some have been gifts. And, yeah. Some have been commissions, some have been gifts, some have been Patreon rewards. But I have most of them, yeah. Should I sell them? Maybe. Will I? When I have to. We talked about doing a Warhipster yard sale a few months ago. And I keep thinking about that concept and how to make it work. And basically a lot of people said, nah, sounds lame, put them on eBay. And I was like, cool. A lot of people said, sounds cool. But a lot of people also said, put them on eBay for £5 a model. And I was like, cool. Do you still do commissions? I do not know. Well, I say never. I was having this very conversation last night. The thing with commissions is 90% of the time somebody wants something you've already done. And I don't really want to paint the same things over and over again. So, generally, the answer to, I'd say, 99% of commissions is, sorry, no. Because, like I said, you know, you put a video out for Contrast Plus how to paint Wolfguard Battle Leader. So you put a video out for Contrast Plus how to paint Logan Grimnar, and then you get 100 requests saying, can I commission you to paint Logan Grimnar? I'm like, nope, because I don't want to spend the rest of the year painting Logan Grimnars. How excited are you for this week's pre-orders? Very. There's a lot of cool stuff on pre-order this week. MESBG, Old World, and of course, Age of Sigmar. The General's Handbook is big. Desperately hoping I can get a copy of the Middle-earth Match Play Guide. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I need to get the. I need to get the Middle-earth books. I just haven't got them yet. Which is my bad. But I need to get the. I need to get the one that's on pre-order. Might have to get some more friends for Barry. Barry deserves all the friends. So you're saying you won't paint my Great Beast of Gorgoroth, Sag? Well, see, now that's different, you see. Because no one's ever asked me to paint a Great Beast of Gorgoroth. So there may be a universe where that could happen. Yeah, no. The issue with the issue with commission painting, like I said, the issue with commission painting is most of the time people want something you've already done, and if you're commission painting something that you have already done for a video, you are not making videos. So, the lead time just becomes monstrously long. It's basically a case of, if I have a spare moment, I will try and do your insert thing. But because I've already done those models, for example, let's say Fulgrim. Fulgrim took me 2.5 days, and I so very rarely have 2.5 days spare that I don't really want to spend 2.5 days painting Fulgrim again. You see what I mean? That's not to say that people don't, you know, say really hurtful things to me. I was offered £25 for all the Space Wolves I've just done. Because, and I quote, £25 is a fair price because I'd have to strip them and that would cost a lot of time and money. And I was like, why would you have to strip them? Did I do that bad a job? I think you do want to paint the same model over and over again. You loved Guard. Yeah, but that's for me. That's for me, Captain Mannerings. For videos. I made videos out of that. And I have a nice Guard army now. It's about as good as the Angron offer. I know. I tell you how the conversation goes. Hello, Warhipster. Do you ever sell any of your models? Why? Which of my models do you want to buy? I would like to buy your Krondys. Okay. Well, Krondys is a model I'm really fond of. I really like it. I spent a lot of time on it, and it's one of my favourite models that I own. But I would be willing to sell it to you for 350 quid, let's say. And then they say, what a rip-off. Siege would be cheaper to paint it. And I go, no, they wouldn't. And then that's the end of the conversation. That's how that goes. Almost all of the time. Or, you know, you get something like, I would like to purchase Fulgrim. Okay. $300 quid. And they go, what, for a contrast painted model? No thanks. I'm like, why did you want to buy it in the first place then? $300 seems low, to be honest. Well, yeah, so that's the thing, is I'm like... Again, so when it comes to commission painting, I'm terrible at charging my time. I don't know what my time is worth. You know? So I've had problems in the past of where I've gone, look, the rate is this now, and some people have gone, no, it's now too expensive, and I'm like, okay, I'm if it's too expensive for you, it's too expensive for you, but I'm not going to drop my prices now just because, you know, you want to get it cheaper, and I fully understand that you want it cheaper, and I get that, I really do, but I can't run it on a I can't run my life on a shoestring budget, you know. It's mental how people price stuff in their heads, especially if it's already painted. It's worth less than them asking you to paint it the exact same way. Yeah. No, exactly. So like, here's my view on it. Right, I have sold army projects in the past. I sold my Anvils of the Heldenhammer Stormcast collection, which was very old. It's not patented. It wasn't painted particularly well. So, you know, it wasn't painted badly by any stretch of the imagination, but it wasn't painted to the standards at which I'm at now. So when I sold that army, I sold it at about 60% of retail, because in that instance I was selling a second-hand army that, you know, wasn't done to the standards that I have today. I wouldn't sell the 1,000-point list that I did for Warhammer World last week for 60% of recommended retail price, because I put a lot of time and a lot of effort into that army, and there's also the degree of I don't actually want to sell it. I heard someone explain it as people price stuff according to the budget that they have, so anything that is priced fairly will seem excessive for a lot of people. 100%. 100%. Yeah, and I go through that all the time. Like, you know, so I was talking the other day about there's a camera that I want to buy. There is a camera that I want to buy, which is called a Sony FX30, for those of you who are in the know. I want to buy that camera because, well, it's the bee's knees of cameras, right? But I don't have the budget to buy it right now. So to me, it seems like it's really expensive, even though I know that the benefit would outweigh the cost, as it were. So it'd be a good thing to buy, but I don't have the benefit for it. So now I look at it and I think, oh, that's a bit dear, especially when I see people selling it. Selling an FX30, and they're selling it at sort of 1,499, I'm like, give over, it's a second-hand camera. But the thing is £1,900 brand new. I mean, it's on deal at the moment. But you get what I'm saying. So yeah, to me it seems really, really expensive because my budget doesn't allow for it. Which is very different because I'm interacting with a corporation, right? Instead of like a commission-based service, but or like a independent, as it were. But yeah, I got confused and thought you wanted the Sony FX2. No, 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 no. The FX30 is a bloody beautiful camera, and I want it. I want it very much, but I can't afford it. Because the body is $1,599 and the lens is the lens I want for it, which is the Sigma 16-50, is about 450 quid. So I can't really afford $2,000 on a camera right now, especially when we're trying to save to move house. So, you know, it is what it is. Now, I missed something fairly important. I missed the chest plate, which is quite funny. It's a specific video camera as well, so they expect you to price its cost into your project. Yeah, exactly. And like that's the thing is, like, honestly, like if I had the cash to do it, I would probably buy it, because it would mean that 4K, steady 4K, would be very, very achievable for the channel, and you know that comes up every now and then as people really wanting to see 4K. But right now it's not really that doable. I mean it is, but it's a hassle. It's a real hassle for me to do it, which is why I don't. Which way round does this go? Like that? People also forget that when they pay you for a commission, they are paying for your own spare personal time, which is worth more than work time. Yeah, or it is your work time. That's the other side of it. Like, so for me, it would be, you know, I kind of got into the rhythm with commission painting where, look, I mean, there's a great deal of content on my channel that is as a consequence of commission painting. Pretty much all of my Gene Stealer Cults videos and most of the Sisters videos, apart from the Palatine, Morvenval, and the thingy, the Triumph of St. Catherine, all of the Sisters videos were commission. Alright? So that was invaluable stuff. And all of the what they called Aspect Warriors as well, that was all commission. So yeah, there's been a ton of commission work that's happened on the channel. I've been really grateful for it when I've needed it. But I don't need it now, and I don't want to disappoint people by taking 4 million years to do it. So yeah, it's done. I don't do it anymore. It's the roundabout long way answer. But yeah, it is my work time, and so because I'm self-employed, what do I value my work time at? What do you value your work time at? Like, what's your salary? Like, what's your hourly rate? How do you value your own time? You know, what am I worth? All of these questions and more on another exciting episode of Warhipster. Chats. So I used to price my commission base business because I couldn't figure out the value of my time. I used to price my commissions based on the value of the models. And then add multipliers for build time and basing time, as it were. Because very occasionally someone would say, "Oh, I've got the set of models, and they're built and they're primed. Can I pay you to paint them?" And obviously that makes things cheaper because it's less for me to do. So I used to, at the very end of my commission business, I charged basically 3.5 times RRP for a full build, prime, paint, and base. So if you want to do back of a packet maths, oh, and it wouldn't include the purchase of the models as well. They could either do that themselves or give me the money to do it. So a box of 10 intercessors now would cost times 3.5. Yeah, this is how bad my rates were. £140 for 10 intercessors. I also run a handmade business, and people want the nicer product but just don't want to pay for the time it takes to make. People just don't get how long it takes to do things by hand. No, they don't. No, they really don't. But here's what's mad, right? As I just told you, so my old commission rates, to paint a box of 10 intercessors, it would cost £140, not including the purchase of the models, right? And people would tell me that that's too expensive and that more premium services were cheaper. And that is one of the many reasons why the commission business is closed. Like, I don't know how many of you have used commission services, but I think this might be an interesting question for you guys to ponder. Given as you know how I paint, the way I paint, you see how I paint, you see the videos, you see the models, you see the final product. What would you pay me to paint 10 Grey Hunters? What would you value that at? I'd be intrigued to know what you guys would think and how you would break that down. I'd be really interested to know that. Ooh, I do want to go to the UK Games Expo, but from where I am, it's either £100 on the train or 5 hours on a coach, starting and finishing in the wee small hours. I couldn't paint an intestine in an hour, not to any kind of paid for standard anyway. I've done it! I've built Canis Rex! It's done, it's over, it's finished. That's exciting. It's only taken 2 weeks. £20 and a handy. Cool. Yeah, that's a good bid. 10 Vanquishers, $200 US. Would it be? Vanquishers. $65. Yeah, so that's a little bit less than the rate that I was offering at. So 3.5. Steady on there, Bucko. I'd honestly say between £200 to £300 would be very reasonable. Mm-hmm. No, I'm interested. I'm interested in what you guys value commission rate at. Like the work of commission painter. Because I assume that most of the people who are in my chat and who follow me are not people who generally use commission services very often. They're people who like to paint or like to know how to paint or find out how to paint and then paint something using one of my videos, generally. So that's where it's interesting, because essentially that question posed to this chat to you guys is a question of, hey, all you guys out there who probably wouldn't normally pay for a commission, what would you commission me to paint 10 intercessors at? And cost is a hard one, because $200 for airbrushed Vanquishers is about right, but all yours is literally hand painted, so it takes way longer. Yeah, exactly. Factors, right? So bear in mind as well, I never used to do levels, because I was of the view that if somebody was commissioning you to paint their miniatures, what they wanted was they wanted you to put your quality into it rather than anything else, right? So I didn't do bronze, silver and gold, and like bronze is I'll throw the base coats on there and shade it and then it's yours, and silver I'll relayer it, and then gold I'll highlight it to within an inch of its life. You know, I didn't ever do anything like that. I just went, hey guys, if you want to commission me to paint Chinchar, you get Chinchar. You get how I've done it, for example. Honestly, just the fact that I know it's you painting and I know it's professional work, I'd crank out more on that fact alone. Interesting. Because, yeah, it would be me. It's not somebody else. I'm not running a service that is somebody else does the painting and I'm the face of it or anything like that. It would be me. I wouldn't do levels either. You get the level I'm at the moment. Yeah, exactly. So $500 minimum, $50 per model. Yeah. It's a good price. This is I'm always fascinated by this. Like I said, you're a non-traditional commission crowd, as it were. I would say. I mean, obviously there are people who are subscribed purely for my electric personality and my good looks, not just for the painting. I just gave myself the ick with compliments. Great. But yeah, it's a fascinating thing, right? Yeah. Because the other part of it as well, and this is the interesting one, right, is I've spoken to some commission painters about basically commissioning videos from them for a future project that I want to do later on. As like a, raising up some people's businesses, basically, try and help some people out. I've spoken to some of them as well, and I've said, generally what would be the rate for a single character model, and they've come back with everything from, I've had quotes for. I was always on the same model. It was always on Mephiston, the newer version, the Primaris version of Mephiston. I said, what would that fetch? And I had it everywhere from sort of around about £100 to 1,500. And it was always a case of, well, interesting. And in that instance, I would say to them, like, for people who are valuing it way too low, I would say, do you ever get, if anybody ever hears that rate and says, wow, that's cheap, you need to put your prices up immediately. If anyone's familiar with C Studios, they charge very high pricing from what I've heard. They're the example I can think of for too expensive. I have seen some quotes that would make your eyes water. But there's two streams that are going on there, right? With a commission relationship. There's one ensuring that you, the customer, get what you want out of the sheer mechanic of commission painting. So one of the reasons I didn't do levels, like I said, was if you come to me and say, hey, I really like your work and I want you to paint this for me and I'm going to pay you for your time to do that, and I say, okay, cool, it'll cost you 10 grand to do this, or it'll cost you £500 to do that. You are then some people feel this pressure that they're locked into this conversation, this quoting business with you. So they go, well, okay, the £500 one sounds great. And I go, fantastic. And the £500 one is basically me just like spitting the paint at it and going, there you go, be happy with it. And they go, yay. This is why I never did levels. I was like, if you're going to commission a specific artist to do something because you like that artist's work, then that artist should give you 100% of what they're doing. And if they're always giving 100%, then they should always have a single rate that is at their 100% rate, rather than I'll half-ass it for you if you like. But that's just my opinion. Because I don't think anybody watches my videos and says, I would pay you to get them up to Warhipster battle ready. That sounds great. You watch my video and go, wow, the final version is really cool. That's what I want. So that's what people would get. My pricing is from the perspective of knowing what all goes into this work. People that complain about the pricing don't understand the work involved. Yeah, exactly. Wish I could tell my boss, hey, today will be a bronze day. Yeah. Do you know what? Today I'm just feeling bronze. It's bronze level today. I'm just gonna maybe do about 3 hours today, if that's all right. Sounds good? Are you cool with that? That would be great, wouldn't it? in the professional workplace to just choose to have a bronze day. I don't even offer 2 levels of postage because when I did, people would always pay for second class and still expect it in the first class time frame. Working with people can be hard. Exactly, Gary. Exactly. I had a really good chat with somebody about their crafting business, and I said, because they had different levels of postage, and I said, what's worse, like the most expensive postage or the cheapest postage? And he said, in the middle is perfect, because if you order the most expensive, what ends up happening is your order goes to the top, and if a bunch of people do that, a lot of it goes to the top, but it means it just becomes this stressful, whacked out day where I'm trying to get everything out next day delivery, or, you know, inside the 3-day timeline or whatever. Whereas if you ask for the cheapest possible postage and the cheapest possible lead time on it, then it ends up just getting pushed back and back by everybody else who's paying more. So actually hitting at the middle is fine. I said, well, maybe you should just have single postage rate. And he was like, I would, but... I try not to run up to them and scream, you're too expensive. You know, don't do that. That wouldn't be kind. Be kind. Be kind to everyone. All the time. That's the way to be. Anyway, guys. It is now 20 to 11, which means we've been streaming for 2 hours. So we are going to wrap things up there. That is the conclusion of tonight's festivities. I finished building Canis Rex at long last. Other than sticking him down to his base, which I know some people will say means I'm not fully finished with him, but I'm not priming it yet, so I'll stick it to its base when I'm going to go and prime it. Anyway, that is done. Good chat. Not really. Well, I mean, we spent quite a bit of time on UK Games Expo. I will be at UK Games Expo on Saturday this weekend coming, so if you want to hang out, if you want to say hi, if you want to touch my face, ask first, but you can. That's a possible thing that can happen on Saturday. But otherwise, tomorrow there will be a Contrast Plus how to paint head takers and hunting wolves video for you. And then on Friday there will be Contrast Plus how to paint either Bloodclaws or Grey Hunters. One of the two. Saturday might also be Space Wolves, I haven't decided. Or it might be something else. It might be Space Wolves. We've got a raft of content coming up for you next week. I'm hoping to have 5 or 6 videos for next week. So yeah, loads of content. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna poodle off now. Had somebody I knew contact Siege for an Emperor's Children army. Quoted 12k. Well. That's quite the number to leave things on. Anyway, thank you very much, guys. I will see you tomorrow for a painting video. See you in the flesh on Saturday, maybe at UK Games Expo. Have a great one, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Bye for now. Hand of farewell. See ya. Don't know why I'm doing the voice. I just am.